The one I was involved in was, so I was sitting, I hung out with Stephanie McMahon a lot. So I'm sitting there eating lunch with Stephanie, and Mark and Sable come in and sit next to Stephanie, which they never do. Like, when I'm there, I'm like, like, what's this about? So I'm just wondering, and next thing you know, the friggin' door, this was in the Pyramid in Memphis, the door of catering kicks open. This woman comes and she goes, Sable, I would never hurt you, but Mark Merrill, I'll bite a chunk out of your face before you knock me out, you son of a bitch. You stay out of her matches. So I guess he was always just trying to like change her match around. And she was like, not going to hurt Sable, do this and this and that. So like Luna lunged at him, and then like Shane drug Luna out, and Vince and Godfather and all them sitting over there. Everybody's sitting right there, and I'm like, I'm like, hey, I go to eat again. I look at that. I go to eat. Like, this didn't happen, right? You just, you didn't know sell it. And like, you should get clout. Your wife's getting dragged out. You're just like, okay. And then Mark said something like, see what? I have to put up with that guy. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, So I put my fork down and I go, listen, I don't care what you guys' problems are with each other. I don't care. I got to hear it. I don't want to hear it from her. But I'm going to tell you this. You're not going to talk about her like that while I'm eating dinner right in front of me. And then he cut a promo on me saying I had no respect for him. He was trained by Malenko or something. I go, I didn't even know you were trained by Malenko. It tells you how much I know about you, and I don't care. Then I got kind of hot. So you can put a dress on, have your wife beat you every day of the week if you want. It's not my fucking problem. Leave me the fuck out of it. And then he said he was going to whip my ass. And so I don't think so. And then I got hot, and I got up and flipped the table over in catering with Stephanie, Vince, everybody. I told him to get up. And he wouldn't fight. He just kept putting his hands under his desk. I said, come on, get up. I'll be your golden glove. Like, why are you fighting? I ain't fighting you. So I went to go hit him, and Draws grabbed me, Darren. And he drugged me out. So now I'm great. I'm in trouble now. So I don't see Luna or Sable and all them. I'm wandering, and Stephanie comes up and goes, my dad wants to see you in the office. They're all waiting on you in there, right? So I go in, and it's Mark and Sable over there. Luna's sitting here. The only spot left is Vince's desk. So like, he's not in there yet. I figured I'm fired. So I sit down, put my feet up. And Vince comes in, he goes, And I start laughing. He almost cracked a smile, but he didn't. He just gave me that look, that weird look. He goes, why do you find this so funny? And I go, they got me. He goes, what do you mean? Go, they drugged me into this bullshit. I could give less about all this. They got me. And he goes, yes, they did. And if you hit them, you're fired. Now get out of here. And he kept them in there forever. I think they all got fined, in trouble. But he just laughed, because I thought I was gone for sure. I mean, I flipped the table up in catering, and I think that's probably the incident you're talking about. There could have been a couple though. She always had some kind of incident. She just she really tried really hard with Sable, and I think Luna just felt unappreciative. Like WrestleMania came, and they did a WrestleMania match, and they came back, and they had flowers and everything, and I think for one brief second, Luna thought, and they were like, "Oh, you did it!" They did it, and they like kind of, it's like you see in a movie. They pass over and they go right to say, "Wow, you did it! You're perfect." And Luna like she kind of no-sold it, but like one of my favorite people in the world, though, in heart, like she went over behind the spot, big makeup box, and went to go crying. And Luna, Owen came out and goes, "You did great," Owen turned around, he saved her. Like Luna probably like that was there. So like I think she just felt really unappreciated. Like she knew wrestling was going towards beauty and TNA and not so much talent, but she was trying really hard, but then nobody would even give her like, hey, that a girl,
So I guess you didn't feel too bad for Miro when Brock Lesnar stole Sable away from them.
Yeah, I didn't care. But I heard he's all turn around and giving motivational speeches. No, I'm only a guy that stays mad for like 2 minutes. I get mad for 2 minutes. I don't speeches.
He's paid a lot of money for those speeches.
Well, there you go. Like if I could get a speech and paid, I'd do it too. But no, I have a temper of all of 2 minutes. That's why I don't like doing like these kind of interviews and stuff, because I'll say something I shouldn't say, but it's the truth anyways. But I'm never mad more than 2 to 5 minutes. I'm like, get over things.
One other issue I guess you guys had back there, I guess at one point X-Pac defecated or something in Sable's bag or something.
Well, you got homework. Actually, funny thing, okay? Looking back now, it's hilarious, okay? When we decided that we were done with wrestling, the European tour was our last. That was it. We're done. We had plenty of money to live the rest of our lives. And we got in the the car to go back, and I start smelling something. It's like, what is that smell? I mean, it's just like a dog defecating in the car. What is going on here? And she's going, oh my gosh, what is that? And she opens her bag and she finds the poop. And it was like, oh, that's so disgusting. You know, it was like horrible. We had to throw out the bags and everything, you know, it was just terrible. But we didn't know who did it at the time, you know, but it was like, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, we're done. We're out of here. We're never coming back, you know? And we quit. We quit the business. Remember, I quit with a contract of $350 a year guaranteed, and signing bonus, merchandise, and everything else, right? So on top of $350, who knows how much money we could have made, you know? 3 years left on my contract. I walked away and said, keep it. I don't even care. I'm done. And I quit. And you know, my wife at the time, Sable, Rena, quit with me. And we just decided to move to Hollywood, and she'd pursue a movie career. And that's what we did. But never knowing who was the one that defecated in her bag. And then when it came out to that we did know it was X-Pac, it was, I don't know, it's hilarious to me now, you know? I've actually talked with him about it. It's like we have no animosity towards the guy. It was a funny rip when you really think about it.
Well, I guess in the end, it helped towards Sable's settlement too, probably.
Well, that was another thing, you know. You know, I can't really say anything about that, you know, but
it's probably a non-disclosure, I guess. Whenever
it is. But think about this: if it was such a great settlement, you know, no matter what, she wanted to go back, you know, and that was the biggest shock of my life at the time. You know, she tried her hand at movies in LA, and we even got an apartment we rented for a year out there, a beautiful apartment. And then I remember one night she come to me, she goes, what would you think about me going back to wrestling? I was like dumbfounded, like shocked. Like, first of all, it wouldn't be safe because of all the lawsuit and the sexual harassment, all the things that were brought out, that you can't go back to that place. And I said, Vince would never take you back. And she goes, well, I called him. I go, you called Vince? I didn't know about it. And she said that he would think about it. I was dumbfounded. And so once Vince agreed to bring her back, she had to go and apologize to all the top guys at the time, Undertaker, and I can't remember who else she had to apologize to, but that was part of her thing, was going to apologize to some of these people.
There was a big Sonny Sable rivalry, a big rivalry. There were a lot of words. Yeah. I mean, words were exchanged. I mean, I never saw anything physical, but you know, I mean, words were exchanged all the time. But like I said, it almost became the norm, you know. But I never saw anything that I thought was gonna go to blows or anything like that. And in my opinion, because she'll probably tell you differently, I thought it really affected Sonny. I felt Sonny was very jealous of Sable. Sable, you know, rose through the ranks very quickly. And I think there was some jealousy there. And I think the jealousy at times made it difficult for me to work with Sonny.
And Sable was with Mark Merrill at the time?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Was she still with Mark Merrill when she started going out with Brock Lesnar, do you know?
I think she was, yeah.
And for Sable, how was she to get along with in those days?
I never had respect for her because of the way that she would put herself on the road. Like, for instance, when I went and signed my contract with Vince, I said to him, my words verbatim, I'm a mom first, I'm a wife second, and I will bust my ass for you third. But that's the hierarchy. And I will not do house shows. So I only did TVs and pay-per-views because of my child, right? And I will never forget when Rena finally came into the business, and she had been on the road with Mark for like some god awful, like 18 days, 11, 12 days, like something like you just would never leave your kid for that long, right? And I remember saying to her, I'm like, Marina, how can you leave Mariah like that? And she's like, well, because Mark needs me. I'm like, well, Mark's an adult. Mariah's a kid. What does Mark need you to do? And she said to me, she goes, well, I make his meals, and I get him to the gym. And I'm thinking, like, are you freaking smoking crack? Actually, I was not thinking those exact words back then, but I was just thinking, like, what a bad mom you are. So I never had respect for her. And I remember hearing that she had said, and this is after she had sued the company, she called and said, I'll do whatever it takes to get back in the business. And, she's just one of those people, I believe, um, that puts herself above every other person. And um, as a mom, I just don't have respect for that.
You were involved with an angle with Sable where I guess at one point she tried to seduce you.
Yeah.
What was going through your head during that?
It's so stupid. Please don't look it up on YouTube, like that angle with me and Sable, because it has the worst acting you've ever. I'm not an actor, like I'm a professional wrestler. I'm a speaker. I like to be authentic when I speak and use my words and share my story. I can't act. You can't like feed me lines and I'm going to regurgitate them. Anyway, it's really stupid and awkward. Imagine going through high school and then having your entire high school career in like student council or the debate club or on the basketball team, and having all of that on YouTube. It's really uncomfortable. Like, and you can just look it up anytime. It's kind of weird. But anyway, to your question, the thing with Sable was just, it was uncomfortable because here's a woman that I just grew up like idolizing. He just, I mean, I came of age and Sable was the wrestling woman, for guys it was Sunny and it was Sable. And when Sable, she was so, but I'm sitting there and I have to like remember my lines. There's producers everywhere. There's camera people everywhere. The lights are on me. It's hot. It's uncomfortable. And like, I don't know. It was just weird. It wasn't as fun as you would think, just because of all the added pressure and all the extracurricular activities that were going on around me with the cameras and the lights and the writers and everybody else in the room when that shot was happening.
Was she already like publicly dating Lesnar by that point?
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't public at all, and it was. We weren't supposed to know about it. But you know how the boys are, man. Once word kind of gets out, and then it's everybody knows it, and then we're all kind of looking out for it, but nobody's saying a thing. You're not going to say anything to Brock. You're not going to say anything to Sable. You're not going to. It's something that the boys talked about amongst themselves, but never like in a public forum.
Yeah, because I could imagine that might be on your mind a bit too. Like you got to do this sexual scene with her, and like Brock Lesnar is rumored to be dating her.
Yeah. No, you don't want to be on Brock Lesnar's bad side. That's for sure.
So was she like, you always hear nightmares about how she was with some people. I'm gonna guess you weren't very threatening to her, so she was probably fairly nice to work with.
Yeah, I don't really remember all that much, to be honest. So that tells me that it was pretty neutral.
Yeah, I think she was doing a weird angle with Vince McMahon at that time too, wasn't she?
I think she was like kissing him and stuff, or they were
Yeah.
doing like a romance thing. And yeah, to like, but to like no reaction, which was
Yeah.
the, and I think it was to no reaction because there was no point and the story didn't go anywhere and there wasn't like a beginning, middle, and end. Just like 1 week we tune in and then there's Vince and Sable making out for no reason in the middle of the ring. So we're like, all right, cool, I guess. But like, what's the point,
I almost wondered if that was a punishment angle for her suing WWE.
Yeah, who knows, man.
Well, it was every night before Mariah went to bed, we'd call her and we'd say, how's your day? And it was always really good conversation. Mariah always wanted to talk to her mom before she went to bed. And I just remember that it just seemed like it was getting harder and harder to get in touch with her. And then there was days that she didn't even answer her phone. It would just go to voicemail. And I was thinking, why? Where's my wife? You know, I know the wrestling matches are over. They got to be either driving to the next town or in a hotel room. And there was no phone call back. There was no nothing, you know. So I remember leaving a very nasty message, like, you know, I can't believe you don't call us back. You know, this is rude. Well, I don't remember what I said, but anyways, I started feeling bad for saying that. You know, and I go, you know what? And I knew her access code to her phone like she knew mine. They're a married couple, you know. So I called back the phone and I go, I'm going to delete that message. I don't want to hear that. You know, she's probably got enough stress on the road. I dialed the number and it says, you have 2 unheard messages. I thought, okay, so I got to listen to the first one to get to mine, you know? And it's this man's voice apologizing for the night before. And, you know, and I was like, what the heck? And it was pretty graphic and I was very taken back. And then I was realizing that she's seeing somebody else, you know. It was devastating. I mean, I thought we'd be married forever, you know. And I just remember, and anyone that's gone through a breakup or lost a loved one, you know the feeling. It's like just your heart. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you're just miserable. And I didn't say anything, and then I deleted my message, and then I picked her up at the airport, and I said, I want to know who this is. And she, what are we talking about? So she first denied it, and then she just said that she's going to be moving out and she wants a divorce. And it's like my world ended there, man. You know, the most devastating, hurtful. Didn't know what I was going to do because now, you know, you obviously split everything up and you go your own way and life changes. And I got back into drugs. I got back into living a horrible life. Horrible financial decisions, the housing market tanked, everything that could go wrong went wrong in my life to the point where I just didn't even want to be here anymore. And then, you know, just making an amazing comeback in life. And that's part of the story I share with schools and churches and corporations now was that, you know, no matter how bad it is, no matter what you're going through, you know, and there's a plan, a purpose for your life. And we could all come back from the bushes.
Did you ever have a talk with Brock or anything since that happened? Like get to see him in person and any type of apology or anything from him?
No, and I don't expect a Christmas card or anything.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.